What are some things that you think are misconceptions, things that probably don't push the needle much in terms of knee pain?
Probably like the big one during COVID was the ATG system, but it's like just common sense logic of like a 10-year-old kid of like when you're going to jump, the stresses and the forces going through the knee are so high, and if your rehab is reverse sled, it is so low that it's like there's a huge gap there you need to bridge. Now it is good to train the opposite side of the spectrum. It definitely is good, but like if your rehab, I don't want to speak for that rehab. I've never seen it, but maybe I feel like this is the case because I've had a lot of people not get better from it. If your rehab is just like reverse sled walks for like a muscle burn, and then ATG split squats, which is like does not is not conducive for you to lift really heavy loads because you're going really deep into knee flexion and your muscle can't work that well. And then just these really different exercises that are sensationalized that are just a little bit different than other strength exercises. So actually, they're just worse strength exercises. Like a normal split squat is going to be better for your quadriceps than an ATG split squat because they're in a range where they're stronger and you can develop them better. And then like the reverse sled stuff is probably good for like blood flow, but anything is good for blood flow. Going for a walk is good for blood flow. And getting a quad burn, you can get a quad burn doing a wall sit. It's just these things have just been sensationalized. So I think the big issue I have with it, with what's out there with knee pain, is like that whole talk we had at the start of like the function and the pain is like we need to bring up function and we need to keep pain stable, and we need that function to bridge the gap. Like the function that you're training in the weight room or in your rehab, it can start with like 30 to 45 second isometrics, or it can start with really even lower intensity things like a backwards sled, but it has to progress slowly over time. Like those isometrics need to turn into heavy strength with squats and with split squats, and then that needs to turn into store and release at like 25% intensity maybe, and then 50%, and then 75% of jumping and landing. So like you just need to follow a logical progression of rehab, looking at the loads on the front of the knee and the speeds at the front of the knee, and let it settle by removing the high loads and removing the high speeds. Let the tendon settle by taking those away, and then start at the regress at the very bottom, and then just build it up over time. So I think if people wrap their head around that in terms of rehabbing their knee, which is stupid, simple, common sense, they wouldn't see something like a reverse dead mill and be like, "Oh, that's the key for knee health." You know, it's like, I mean, it's just,
Or the
or
tibialis
that, yeah, too.
raises?
That too is just like, how did we arrive at that? Because it's, yeah, but that's it. That's it. It probably is good. It probably has a net positive because it got people excited about training. You know, it got them excited about loading their knees. It's just that if we use a shred of common sense, it's like, how is this preparing you for the forces that are going through the front of your knee when you're doing triple jump? That you need that type of common sense because you've had people that have tried that training and they have not got better, and now they're even more confused. So maybe just a little bit better education, yeah, of the loads and the speeds need to be regressed, and then they need to be progressed, and that's just how the human body works. Is you need to let things settle down, and then you need to build them back up. Like that's just been, no one's going to challenge that and say that's wrong because it's just correct. And that type of rehab, yeah, the tibialis and the reverse sled, that doesn't really, that's not even a thought, you know? That's not even a thought when you're doing those things. You're just saying, I'm getting a quad burn and I'm getting my tibialis pumped. It's like, okay, that's the lowest IQ possible. We should raise the bar and just use a little bit more logic. So yeah, that's probably my issue with what's out there. I mean, I've done it too with the leg extension because I kind of sensationalize that myself. But I also admit that like some people do it and they get worse. I think some people have a knee that's just built in a weird way, or maybe they have a calcification or something, and it really pisses off their patellar tendon. But if they reach out to me, I'm not going to be so stuck on this one exercise. I'm going to say, if you've been trying this for a few weeks and a few months, and you can't even regress it down to the lightest load and find a pain-free position and get a positive response, just be done with it. Find a different quad exercise. So it's like, I'm not married to the leg extension. I know that it's really pissed a lot of people off. Let's just go back to the common sense, use that, and let's just find a different way to stimulate the quads and start to progress you back to sport.